Hey guys, welcome back to Firewood on the Hill. My name is Matt. Nick is back. Today, guys, is the first run with the new old conveyor. This conveyor is massive compared to the other one. I'm curious to see how it runs though. I mean, have you seen all these other YouTubers that have similar conveyors and they were breaking chains, it was getting stuck and just all these problems? Yesterday we actually loaded a dump trailer full with the conveyor to test it out. And sure enough, I was having the same problem a lot of the guys were, where the spacing of the paddles were too far apart. It was letting wood slide down into the bottom and getting jammed up. Well, I have a solution for that. I'll go and get the rubber for that Monday, but I have a plan to rig it, redneck engineering, to where it will work for us today. But yeah, guys, we're going to test out this conveyor. Hopefully we don't have as many issues as everybody else. Hopefully we don't break a chain. We'll see how that goes, but let's get to it. All right, guys, so this is what we're engineering here. We just took some cardboard and made a flap down here and used vice grips to hold it on. This thing would just flip up and fall down whenever the chain moves. So two things I noticed about this is different from my other one. One is you see the spacing is much different. This is way bigger spacing than my other conveyor. And then another thing is that it's slower. So since I have less paddles and it's slower, it gives time for the wood to fall down and slide down into that groove right there. So we're gonna test this out. Y'all, this thing is electric, so I got a drop cord running from the house. It's just driven by this little belt right here. It's very similar to others where you plug in the conveyor and all you do is engage this and it locks it in and it's ready to go. So guys, here's the hopper on this. It's a nice little hopper. But this metal is so thin. Holy cow. I'll definitely have to reinforce that at some point in time. We'll see how that goes. I mean, it's pretty bent up. But right now, we're going to test it out and see how she goes. Guys, this thing has got a piece of wood in here, and this is all solid, but luckily there is this panel right here. It's got 6 bolts. I'm gonna undo that and see if I can reach my hand in there and grab a piece of wood out. But it's literally in that little hole right there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a piece of wood in there. Anyways, that's the paddle. And right down there is the wood. But let's see if we can get it out.
Good.
All right, guys, so we got this. It actually slides out, but these things are so corroded and jacked up that they didn't come out. I'm gonna leave this thing open, but check this out. Look down in there. Here's the wood right there, you see it? All right, guys, so we were able to get in here. We couldn't bring the wood this way, so what we did, we used that pry bar right there on the ground. It's like a 5-foot pry bar. And we hit the piece of wood all the way down to the bottom down there. And if you zoom up to that bottom right there, you can see it was already rotten and just jacked up. So we ended up just pulling it back and pulling this monster sized piece out of there. How the heck did that get in there? I don't know. But it literally had to either go down. It had to come from the top. That's the only way it could do. It somehow went all the way up the conveyor, came all the way down on the inside, down to this bar right here, and the bar is what stopped it. So I don't know how to stop that from happening again, but we'll see. Alright guys, we still didn't get to the top today. That hill is way bigger than it looks, I promise you that. I don't know, we probably split probably 3 quarters today. We got a lot of this stuff cut up that we actually didn't get to. I don't know if y'all remember from a previous video, but you can see we've gotten through a lot of the wood. But we knew we were gonna have problems today with conveyor, and that's kind of what slowed us down. I feel like we would have got all this done if we didn't have any problems with the conveyor. But that is what we expected. Here's a video of the last pile. I mean, that conveyor is up there, y'all. All right, guys, we had a great day here in the wood yard. Nick was here, my dad came through, and he did most of the cutting. We did some work over there in the other wood yard at the beginning of the day, me and my dad. There was that pile that's been there for a long time that needed to be split. We got all that split up. But, of course, guys, going in today, we knew that we were gonna have issues with conveyor. Yeah. So a couple things that we noticed. Obviously, the bottom was the first thing we noticed. We noticed that yesterday when filling a dump trailer with conveyor. We put cardboard there. We found out that the cardboard eventually wore out. Yep. So we had to replace the cardboard, and then that wore out. So I think we replaced it like 2 or 3 times. Also, the cardboard ripped and tore, so we had to adjust the vice grips as well. But like I said, guys, I have a plan for that. Just a nice piece of rubber, thick piece of rubber that will solve that issue. Another issue that we figured out was somehow, some way, the wood was going up the conveyor, circling around and going down inside the conveyor all the way to the bottom. So we'll have to figure that out still. Y'all saw where I had to take that metal plate out of the bottom to unjam, actually a couple times. That happened a couple times. So having that was there, I'm just gonna leave that open. Hopefully the wood will fall out. I doubt it. Yeah. But the wood will fall out and we wouldn't have to stop. But I mean, that's a good accessible point.
Yeah.
What else?
You did bend the channel up there.
Yeah, so we thought this is what Nick thought. He saw there's like an L bracket up there where it comes down like that. We think what was going on is the wood was getting up there perfectly parallel to it, and it was going down the conveyor. So what I did is I got up there and I bent those L's basically straight so there was no more lip there. That didn't seem to help the problem. It's still doing it, so I don't know what we got to figure out there. Another thing is the lever. The lever sometimes pops out of gear, which is fine if it's being triggered because it's about to jam. We hadn't figured that out yet. Because Nick was like, let's put something on it. I was like, well, let's just wait and make sure that if we did that, it would tear it up more, because we don't know what's triggering. We don't know if it's just going loose because it's going loose, or if it's getting jammed up there and it's popping and saving our butts, right? So and then of course we showed the hopper. The hopper is not a big deal right now, but it's definitely something I'll address eventually. I can tell you what, guys, I've experienced a belt driven conveyor and one of these old chain ones. I would go 100% belt every day of the week. I know why guys who build conveyors build them with chains, because they will last longer. But for firewood purposes, I think the belt is the way to go. Short distance in cleats, speed helps from everything falling down. And then of course you don't have anything getting jammed up. I mean, there's nothing to jam up. It's just flowing freely, right?
It sits on top, so we're just sitting in between.
And it's going in a channel that can get, I mean, there's just so many things that can catch on these conveyors. Whereas my belt driven one, literally you just wrap a belt around it and it's open, you know. So if that little, I'm gonna keep that little conveyor for sure, but I just wish it was bigger. I'll have to actually get the conveyor out here one day beside this one and show you how much bigger this conveyor is. It is huge difference. I mean, you could probably see just from looking at it. But yeah, guys, the wolf ridge is doing good. All the saws are performing. Everything's good. I mean, we'll get these quirks figured out, and I think we'll have a solid conveyor.
It'll only get better from here.
Right. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. We'll catch you next time.